What up, everybody? Welcome back to MRE Motorsports. I was out here and I got a piece in the mail the other day, and it reminded me that I wanted to do a video on this. So now I gotta find this piece. Walking here to my parts counter and see what I can find it. Love this truck. She bad. There's that. Voila. All right, so I got a piece in the mail, and I wanted to do a little video on these cheap Chinese throttle bodies. This one in particular is a G Plus 92 millimeter. These throttle bodies are known for, I use them. I've used them for a few years now, and I had really good luck with them. But there's other people that say, you know, there's issues with them, whatever. One thing I've noticed with these is if you ever boost leak test one of these, 9 out of 10 times, these cheap ones leak like hell right out of here. Right where that little spring is inside there. Yeah, right here. And basically they leak there is because where the shaft goes through this body, on the expensive ones, they actually have a seal in here. If you take these apart, you'll find out that these do not. That's part of why they're so cheap. But this side will seal up because you put your TPS sensor on here, and the TPS sensor has an O-ring on it, and then it seals it up. So this side won't normally leak. It's always the linkage side that leaks. So I'm going to show you a couple things I do to prep these little $50 throttle bodies to make them, you know, comparable to the $400 throttle bodies that, you know, some of these companies sell. I, you know, can't afford, with as many junkyard projects as I try and build, I can't afford to buy a bunch of those $400 throttle bodies, so I opt for the little $50 ones and go about my day. But let me grab some tools and I'll walk you through some of the things I do to make these things work. All right, so one thing I like to do with these is I like to take these screws out of the throttle blade. As you can tell, that one there was actually fairly loose. Not fairly loose, but loose enough that eventually that thing probably would have fallen out and ended up in the top of a piston like Cletus's motor. Actually, I'm going to do it one by one. Basically, what I'll do is I'll pull these out. This one, actually, if you look at it close enough, you can see like there it went, right down to my motor. If you look at it close enough, you can see it's got some Loctite on it already. I don't believe I took this one apart originally when I got it and did this, so this was probably manufacturer done, but I'm going to pull these out, put some red Loctite on it, and then put those back in, make sure those don't fall out in the future. So we'll get some Loctite it up. You don't have to get real carried away with the Loctite. This one's probably going to be a little excessive because that Loctite tip was pretty big. I mean, you could fit a grape through that thing. But yeah, just a little Loctite. Run them down in there, get them a little snug, snug. And, but yeah, I mean, these throttle bodies, they're pretty good, you know, pretty good for the money. I mean, it's hard to beat a 90 mil throttle body for $50, you know. You're not going to find that in somebody's catalog. Some parts supplier's catalog for $90, they're going to have them for $300 or $350 or something, you know. They're going to be way more expensive. But on eBay, you get on there and get you one of these for $50 or $75 if you get it with the sensors and stuff. But on to the next order of business to making one of these work really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this linkage off and kind of show you the other issue these things have. Most people probably don't notice it because most people probably don't boost leak test their stuff. But we're going to take this set screw out of this linkage You gotta be careful because there is a spring on this thing, so it will ejecto-cedo. But the spring's pretty coiled up on there. It's actually, I believe, 2 springs. But turn it just a little bit because you'll have to get it past this spot here, back it up, and just slowly pull it off. And it's gonna go boing. And I'm gonna note, like, in my head that this linkage piece here was about here. That way, whenever I go to put it back together, I can put the same amount of tension on it whenever I go to set it back on the shaft here. We'll pull that off like so, and then pull the spring out like that. And as you can see, all you're seeing right here is just a bearing. But this thing, more than likely, you know, whoever CNCs these out of billet or whatever, they've got a drawing or a CAD file from some other company, or they just, you know, re-engineered someone else's. I don't know who originally started these, probably Holly or something, but they're already machined for a seal. You're right there, maybe. Yeah, see how much there's room above that bearing to the edge of this flange right here. And that's where, you know, some of the expensive ones, they'd have a seal put in there. So I did some research, and that way you don't have to. And I found a seal for this little guy right here. And this is actually like a Polaris oil seal for something. Let's see, is there a part number on here? I don't know which one of these. Maybe this. Yeah, but here's the measurement. So basically you can Google search 10 by 22 by 6 oil seal, and you'll find one of these. And like I said, it's like a Polaris oil seal. And this is gonna have the same inner diameter for the shaft, and the outside diameter is perfect for this here, this flange here. But yeah, I did some looking, I did some measuring and searched and found these online, and I've already fixed one of these and tested it on the Ranger and then tested it on the boost knuckle, because I was fighting boost issues for a while on both those trucks. And once I boost leak tested it, found out that the throttle body was leaking like crazy. But yeah, so this will just slide down right over top of that. You know, it is an oil seal, so it's got a little metal ring inside of it, so you got to be careful. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to put a little, which inside that bearing, or inside that seal has actually got a little grease, but probably wouldn't be a bad idea to put a little grease on it. Yeah, see right there, you can see it come up off the shaft there. I'm just going to put that down here. But yeah, you just slide this bad guy down on that shaft there, and it is a pretty snug fit, so you might have to get a socket, and I think that's what I did last time. I think I just got a little socket, put it on that, and tapped it in place. But that's a good thing that you got to tap it in place, because otherwise, if it got boost pressure behind, it just blow right out. But got a little 17 millimeter socket here, and I'll just tap it down in there. Try and get it as straight as possible. Maybe. This is hard to do with the camera sitting in front of me. It's a little crooked. Just a little. Tap her on down in there, and it will stick out of that flange just a little bit, because that outer diameter of that seal is going to go down and touch that bearing, and then that's that. So now you won't have to worry about it leaking boost pressure. Once it fills up in the intake, you ain't got to worry about boost pressure just blowing right out of here. But yeah, just like that. Like I said, the seal number here looks like 0930-060. Just a little oil seal. Let me see what's behind this. Maybe it says like genuine something. Maybe that's the where I got it. I can't remember. I got it off eBay somewhere. What's that say? Genuine parts and accessories. Yeah, that's all it says behind that deal there. But yeah, Google search that. I'll see if I can find the link to it. I'll throw it in the description down below. But that's gonna get you what you need. So pretty much from here, we'll put this spring back in here. Set her back in the way it goes. And you can see it's got a little receiver groove there. And then see if I can not mess this up. Yeah. So I had the springs sitting out back here. Oh, I don't even know if you've seen any of that. I was putting the spring on wrong and I had them coming out right here, but there's actually a little groove next to that bolt, the adjust bolt right there. So I just slid them all right in there. And now what I'm gonna do is push that bracket out where it's flush with the end of that shaft, like that. And then should be able to just tighten it up. Tighten this set screw back up. Ideally, you'd probably want to pull that set screw out and put a little Loctite on it. But worst case, if it comes loose, then the bracket's just gonna, or the link is just gonna fall off of it. It's not like it's gonna fall inside the motor. So we'll be all right there. Just make sure we get her snug. Yep. And just like that. So now that thing is sealed up. One other thing I will do, since I don't like running this tube here, and I've seen guys just like plug this or like put a vacuum cap on it. Normally you can grab that little metal barb and pull it out. So I'm gonna go through and I'll tap this thing and just put like an 1/8 inch pipe plug in it and never look back. Actually, I think it's bigger than the 1/8 inch. It's like 3/8 or a quarter or something. I don't know. But yeah, other than that, that's it. That is how you fix these and make them virtually bulletproof and just as nice as some of the expensive ones on the internet. But that's it. Little tech tip Sunday. I'll try and get this video thrown together, and maybe some of you guys have a Sunday that you want to spend and try and fix these things. So that's gonna do it. Thanks for watching. Keep following along. We'll see you tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Whenever the next video is. You get the point.